Here we are in Bainham Wood, and this is coop 4 of 6, and this is where we've been working this winter with lots of help from friends. So this is the very edge, so there's the stream that goes into the field, so you can see we've planted a hedge line and we've made some dead hedges at the back. And the reason for that is because they're good for the wildlife, but also to stop the cows. And in this area, David Thrussell ably helped us get rid of some hazel, and there's a stump of a hazel that he cut with his lovely electric little chainsaw. And there you can see we've done lots more planting. And the plants are a mix of native species, lots of things with berries and fruit on, so that the birds can have a little feed. So there we are. So another dead hedge there. And here is our base camp. And we've been having sausages for lunch today. Anyway, so here is our bird feeding area, which has kept us entertained all winter. And we've just seen siskins today and marsh tips, and we've had lots of pheasants visitors for the moment. So that was the bit by the base camp. So this bit is just beyond base camp, and what I wanted to do here was lay some hedge. We've got a bit of blackthorn, and just have to do some negotiation here. There was a line of blackthorn along the edge there, so I did do a little bit of hedge laying, but to be honest, it was very difficult, and there were few and far between. So what I've decided to do for the bit at the end, which is up here, excuse me while I negotiate a bit more. So here we go. So this is the line of blackthorn, which I've reduced in height, but really the stems are too thick. So as you can see here, we've planted some blackthorns, and what I might do is coppice these blackthorns and let them grow up, because they were just a little bit too big. I think I was a bit ambitious. So this is the track that comes through and goes to base camp, and we started off work down here with help from Phil and Catherine, and that was the area we started work on. This is an old ash that fell many years ago, but you can see it's quite clear. We've got a bit of ash there that we've chopped down, and this one here, that stump there, was an ash that was quite an interesting one to get down. But you can see, I think you can just see there's some dead hedges at the back, and we've also got more hedge planting back there as well. So this was a sterling bit of work by Catherine and Phil in October, and afterwards I went along and chopped the stumps off with the chainsaw and cut down some of the ashes. But you can see that's quite clear, and there are quite a lot of hazel stumps there that will grow up and form hazel coppice. And that huge heap of wood there, timber there, is ash, diseased ash that we've cut down, which we'll need to cut up into logs during the summer. And there's some more hedge, and also dead hedge, which Vicky and Andy helped us with in February, right at the end, and then we planted the hedge line. So a good bit of work there, and you can see at the end there, that's the end of a bit of that section there. So this is the end of the coop. That's the dead hedge that Andy and Vicky helped us with. And you can see we've been planting some trees. So we have a number of trees that we did: cherries, field maple, and a few others. I can't remember what they were. But anyway, this is the end line of the coop. And this is the bit where the fallen tree, I'll just get it so you can see. So that tree fell down in Storm Arwen, and a couple of years ago Richard helped us chop the branches off. But as you can see, it's nice and clear that. At the beginning of the season it was really, really brambly, and Mike and Andy did lots of clearing of that earlier on in February. So there's a nice view back down. So this section here, this was quite a bit of hazel coppice and a few diseased ashes and things. So Vicky and Andy helped us with the ashes here. And again, I've gone along and cut the stumps. Vicky did some very impressive steps in her cutting, so you can see that's quite clear. Lovely sunshine, and you can see that we should be able to see that the bluebells are coming up in the sunshine. There's one or two that are out already, the ones that have got a lot of sun. So that's a nice clear area. So Mike and I are going to clear that, level it off a bit for camping. And that's a dead hedge we made today. And you can see, I don't know if you can see, we've got some more trees we planted up there. So that was a combination of work from lots of people there, that section there. There we go. So this is a bit further on. You might be able to see some more trees planted. That was the final bit that we cleared there, and Richard and Gillian helped us do that. We've got a big heap of stuff to burn there. We don't like burning a lot of stuff, but sometimes we do that. But the rest, we've got to make another dead hedge further up there at the edge of the campsite area. There's some more ash and rake. So I don't know whether you can see, but we've got lots of little spring flowers coming up. There's a violet, and which is nice to see, as well as the bluebells. And so we really enjoy finding out and looking at things to do with wildlife in our wood. And earlier on in the year, Hazel and Roger came down and helped us identify some mosses. And last October, Katie, Simon and the boys came down and they helped us with identifying lots of interesting fungi. So thank you to them. So there you are, there's some more tree planting there. Lovely sunshine up at the top. So this is the bit that we call the triangle. It's opposite the base camp. So it goes up and it's got a few sort of conifers up there and some fallen trees. And that was a bit that we cleared quite early on. This bit down here, Catherine Thrussell helped us chop down lots of hazels there, and she did a sterling job. And again, she did some wonderful steps as well, cutting down hazel. And so that really helped to clear things out. And we were able then to plant a hedge behind base camp, which I'll show you in a second. But I just want to show you more flowers. So wild garlic, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks to Vicky to helping us transplant some wild garlic there as well. So there's the bit of the little old stream and the triangle, which is a lovely bit of the wood. So here we are in base camp, and the front bit of the triangle, you can see where we've done the tree planting. So we've done some what we call interesting species there. So we've got spindle and some cherries and Gelder rose, which is a viburnum, and also wayfarer plant as well. And there's some dogwood as well. And these here, these are all the bits of hazel that we've collected. We've been coppicing. Some of it we're using for stakes to make dead hedges, which is those there. Those are all bean poles. We've got more bean poles than any number of beans that we will grow. So if anybody wants them, do shout. And these are what we call whippy things, which are great for weaving in and out of things, and Mike's getting quite excited about using those. He's actually helped me with the hedge laying and done the whippy things on the top of the hedge, which I should have pointed out to you earlier, but you can go back and have a look at that earlier on. So there you are, that's the triangle. So that bit was nice to clear, and we've chopped a bit of the trunk of the fallen tree down there and burnt that on the fire, and looking rather good. So here's our shelter, which we need to do a little bit of work on. But this is the end bit of the triangle bit at the edge by the track. Quite a bit of dead wood, which we will use somewhere. And here's our new pond that we made earlier with the help of Catherine and David. And Gillian did some preparatory work earlier on. As you can see, we've still got some water in, and we get some really good pictures from our camera trap here. We got the buzzard and the owl last week. So that's a very exciting thing to have standing water in the wood, which is great. So there you go. That is our 4th coop out of 6 finished, more or less, for this year. Thank you everybody who helped us do the work here. It's been really good sharing the work with our friends, and hope to see some of you next year. And while I was videoing, as you can see, Mr. W is in the hammock there having a little rest, because you do need a little rest after you've worked hard in the wood, don't you?